Okay, negative 3n minus 1/3 equals 8/3. So again, we have a fraction, so I want to find the common denominator of the fraction terms, which since they're both 3, if it's the same number, then you just use that number. So then everything gets multiplied by 3. And sometimes it can be confusing, what to do with the sign here. If you want to just keep it attached to this number or bring it down, either way is fine. Just make sure the sign doesn't get lost in what you're doing with your problem. But I usually just write my common denominator in front of each term, so that sign just kind of gets left there. Okay. If you wanted to just attach it to the 1/3, it would still end up being the same sign when you simplify everything. Okay, so what do you do if you're multiplying and this term is not a fraction? Well, then you just multiply. There's nothing to cross out. So it's 3 times negative 3 times 9, or times n. So that would be negative 9n. And then only with my fractions am I going to divide out. So I would say 3 will divide into 3 one time. 1 times 1 is 1. And that would be a negative 1. That sign would just come down. Equals, and then divide again. 3 will go into 3 one time. 1 times 8 is 8. So we're left with an equation that's going to be easier to solve. I need to get negative 9n by itself, which means I would just move the 1. It's positive when I move it over. It's negative, when I move it over, it will be positive. So then I have negative 9n is equal to 9. And then next step, divide by the number in front of your variable. So we divide by negative 9. Keep the sign because you want these to divide out to be a positive. So that would just be positive n is equal to 9 divided by negative 9, when we divide, would be negative 1. So my solution would be n is equal to negative 1. Okay, number 4, you've got b over 4 minus 1 equals negative 7. Okay, so if you only have one fraction, then that's the number that you're going to use as your common denominator. So I would have 4 times b over 4, bring down my sign, 4 times 1 equals 4 times negative 7. Okay, so then here, 4 divides into 4 one time. 1 times b gives me just b. When I multiply, negative 4 equals, and then multiply again, which would be negative 28. So we only have one variable term. If I want to get b by itself, then I would have to move the 4. So I keep negative 28, move the 4, which will make it a positive. And so b would equal, we subtract, take the sign of the higher number, so this would be negative 24. So b is equal to negative 24 will be my solution. Okay, let's look at number 5. Try to give you several problems, several examples, so you always have something to look back to. Okay, 2/3 x is equal to 8. Well, again, we just have one fraction, so that is the number that I'm going to multiply by. So 3 times 2/3 x equals 3 times 8. And here, 3's will divide out. 3 will go into 3 one time. 1 times 2 times x gives us 2x. And we're not dividing here because they're both understood to be over 1. So 3 times 8 would be 24. Divide by the number in front of x. So divide by 2. 2's divide out. X is equal to positive 12. So that would be my solution. Okay, number 6 is a lot like number 5. Okay, but for some reason when we see it set up like this, it just looks a little bit different. But what is understood to be in front of m when I have m over 5 is equal to 10? There's an understood 1, so it's just like 1/5 times m. Okay, so we're still going to work it out just like number 5. 5 is my common denominator, so I multiply every term by 5. So here, 5 is divide out. 5 will go into 5 one time, so I just have 1m left over. And then 5 times 10 would be 50. So my solution would be m is equal to 50. Okay, this may be one that you would want to check. Just let me show you that so you can have a few examples of how to check. Remember that you plug your number back into the original problem. So I would have 50 over 5 is equal to 10. So 50 divided by 5 is 10. If we get a true statement, then we know that our solution is correct. Okay, and then number 7, we've got 5/3 x minus 7/3 is equal to x. So again, if that's the only number you have on the bottom, that's going to be your common denominator. So everything times 3. Every term in the equation times 3. Here, 3's divide out, or 3 into 3 will go one time. 1 times 5 times x gives me 5x. 3 will go into 3 one time. So 1 times 7, which would be negative 7, that negative sign comes down, equals 3x. Okay, in this step, I'm going to move all of my variables to the left. So this 3x, when I bring it across, is going to be a negative. When I move the 7 over, because that's the only number it has to be on the other side, it's going to be a positive. So this would give me 2x is equal to 7. Divide by 2. 2's divide out. X will equal 7 over 2. Now on the computer, they will tell you, write your answer as a simplified fraction, or if they want the decimal, it will tell you how many decimal places to round to. But most of the time, I think they do want the fraction answer on these.